Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Before we start, quick disclaimer, anything we discuss is just for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. Alright guys, huge gap update today after the big ceasefire news yesterday. Market gapped up huge, the whole market in FOMO. So how did we trade it? We traded pretty successfully. Today you're going to learn a concept of profit taking. How to trade the gap ups. Is it a gap and go or is it a gap and crap? You know, the concept of the profit taking and gap and craps. There are a lot of tickers to cover today, so I'll try to go fast. Before we do it, let's do a quick introduction. For anybody who's new to our X accounts, new to my YouTube, or new to our community. So we trade a repeatable system, rule-based system called Ripster EMA Cloud System. The system which includes, not only includes my technical concepts that I teach for day trading, investing, and swing trading, but also other psychological risk management concepts that I teach, that I've been teaching on X, on YouTube for 8-9 years now. Free education that I've been giving other traders. Ripster Cloud System. Thousands of traders across the world use the system to trade consistently, make a living in the markets. So that being said, we use our system in the community as well. Community Tanner Trade Group, one of the largest online trading communities, where we have a lot of tools for the traders. Thousands of traders are on our floor trading every day. We have 3 option flow scanner, stock scanner, breaking news alerts, hold, unhold, order flow. A lot of tools worth $500-600 which are free in the community. So we use all these resources to trade in the community. We have our fixed setups, repeatable setups. Setup is what you trade, system is how you trade. So we use that. We make a pre-market plan. As you see, we make a pre-market plan on the news plays, on the earning plays. We divide it on the market plays, and of course upgrades and downgrades. We trade many other strategies. We have something called day 2, day 3 strategy. We will cover some of our day 2 setups as well. That day 2, day 3 strategy is pretty nice as well. I did a free webinar on that. We trade futures. We provide the future levels to the traders in the pre-market. I'm live in the pre-market half an hour before the market open, making a plan for the day. And we also trade crypto stocks. Crypto was amazing today. On the short, we provide these levels. We'll take a look at the crypto trades today as well. Of course, we trade leverage ETFs. We trade the regular ETFs. We trade the Mag 7s. We provide these levels to the traders in the community as well. We also trade low floats. We trade IPOs. So the plan is to have a plan in the pre-market and trade that plan during the market hours based upon what our system tells us, or how we have the plan to trade. I try to teach you all that, show you the timestamped guidance. I'm live on the voice. I'll show you my voice transcript as well, how we trade these setups successfully. So let's start with the first trade of the day. So we're going to start with talking about SPY QQQs. What was our plan this morning. Huge gap, right? As you know, huge gap in the market on that news yesterday about about the ceasefire. Of course, that was what market was waiting for. But rather than having the FOMO, a lot of traders have FOMO. I missed this move. Oh, I should have kept my calls. What if you kept your calls and the news was bearish? What if Trump bombed? And then you would have not been saying the same thing. So it's not good to have FOMO. Think about would have, could have, should have. When that's a negative mentality. That's a loser's mentality. We don't need to have that. Rather, we just need to make a plan for what we're going to do next with this gap up. So SPY this morning was gapping up all the way from 658 to 678, almost I think 3% gap, and 20 points on SPY, which is a huge gap. We have not seen this bigger gap in a long time. So our plan was simple. I told the traders in the pre-market, let's take a look here. We used our VIX strategy. Iran and US both accepted the ceasefire. VIX 20 was the key today. If it breaks that, we long the market. If it holds 20, we do the profit taking, right? Also watch the 21 level, also watch the 20 level. So the plan in the pre-market that I clearly explained to the traders was there will be some profit taking, profit taking on the huge gap up. But if VIX breaks down, the market can push. But VIX never broke down, and we got those profit takes, right? So I told the traders some stocks are definitely going to gap and crap, and some will pull back. So if something gaps and crap, we short it. We buy the puts, we short shares or we take the leverage. We try to make money when there's the profit taking, right? Everybody, the environment is still volatile, VIX is still high, nothing is clear, Trump changes his speech every day, Iran, Israel, all the geopolitical risk is still there. So of course the traders want to lock down some of the profits. The news was, there was no bad news that market would dump all the way back, but at the open 9:30 to 10 a.m. you could do these profit take trades and you could make some money and get done for the day. And so let's see what was happening. We'll go one by one. There was a lot of trades to be taken today. You could take your 5 or 4 or some trades and you could trade those when VIX was holding 20. I told the traders to, there's a profit takes on SPY QQQ. So you see that from the profit take, it's dumping and you could take a short. A lot of our traders were already, most of our community was on the profit taking because I was on the voice. We do not just blindly long. A lot of our traders were trading that the stocks on the downside, right? So a SPY was a short right away with the VIX bouncing here. If we take a look at VIX, you can see the VIX was bouncing of the 20 level at the open. You see 9:30, 20 to 22. So you take the short from the 512, we put your stops here. You take it down, QQQ from 609 to 603, good trade for 100% on the puts. You could make $5 per share short there. Same for SPY. And we had a bear flag as well, and we broke down here. And after that, we curled. This is where we exited our shorts, if you look here. So this was the exit of our shorts right here. When we pushed over this 512 clouds, we exited the shorts. So you could short it, cover your short here. If you want to play the curls, you could play it, but you see the market never pushed over the opening price. So you should not go crazy going long there. And there was another dump news based later in the day. Same thing for QQQs, never really pushed over this pre-market levels. So you need to draw your levels. If you see the levels that I give in the pre-market, let's take a level here, SPY 674, QQQ 607.50. You see once those levels are breaking, they become a short, you do that profit taking trade setups there. You see, I constantly talked about profit taking. SPY is a profit taking short, VIX from 20. Most of the names are profit taking. I wanted to make sure that my traders are not going long when the traders overnight are taking the profit, right? So they are taking the profit. They're selling it. You could short it because there's a bit profit taking and you could make money on the downside move. So let's take a look at individual names. Of course, SPY QQQ was a nice short trade for the traders in the morning on profit takes. Let's look at what the Mag 7s did in the morning. So I went through all the names. If we always go through all the names. So let's look here at the Mag 7s in the morning. You see Meta before the big news that came, Meta dumped from 604 all the way. It dumped to the MTF clouds. You see the power of the MTF clouds, right? The bounce curl here, and the news came middle of the day. Our news bot caught it. A lot of traders were on top of Meta in that news. It was a beautiful news there. So you could curl from MTF to the MTF. That's called the MTF magnet setup. If you look at Amazon, dump here, short. I gave all the shorts to the traders, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, everything I gave the short on the Mag 7 to the traders. That Microsoft, Google, they're all profit takings. Netflix was a short. Microsoft was actually the best short. Broke down here. Take it down, take it to the next MTF. Complete gap fill, right? Whenever there is a gap, there is a chance of the gap fill, right? The same thing with the Google, but Google held the 3450 and you get out when it's bouncing there. Apple also did not fade that much. Netflix did the profiting at the open. So the best one was, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here on the, Microsoft. You see that Microsoft was profit taking, huge profit taking on Microsoft. So that's how my traders or traders in the community made money on the downside move on Microsoft, because once the cloud break, you are no longer looking for the long. No long, no long, no long. Stay short, failed bear flag, MTFs. Under MTF, you definitely don't go long. Fill the gap, we'll watch it tomorrow, but today it was completely the weakest name in the market that was on the profit taking. So let's look at some other names here. Let's take a look, and you can see the level that I had on the Microsoft. Once this level is gone, my traders are using Ripster clouds to short it. So let's look at some semiconductors. AVGO was initial short but curled. Semiconductors started to show a strength later in the day. So you see NVDA dump from the 512s, make money to this MTF clouds and get out when it bounced there. And I think Taiwan Semi was also nice profit take. Of course, it didn't fill the gap. Some names filled the full gap, right? So they were definitely the good shorts there. So let's look at the Bitcoin names. So let's take a look at Coin, Hood. So see, Coin was another beautiful short setup. I told the traders to short it. Coin, you can see my timestamp guidance here. Coin was short. Circle was short, and we don't never do hindsight. I'm showing you my voice guidance there, how all these names were short. Let's take a look here. In the morning, Bitcoin profit taking, Robinhood profit taking, Circle profit taking. So you could short Bitcoin with IBIT, and this was the MTF magnet on Circle as well. See, big gap, and that's your opportunity to make money on the short side. You do not try to buy under the clouds. I know we want to buy for swings, we need to buy for our investments, but we do not buy under the clouds. No, none of my traders is losing buying. Yes, if you're trying to short it and if you panic and you get out, you have to be fast, be ready, right? That's why we had our pre-market planning to be ready for the shorts. I talked about Meta. You can see the guidance, careful of any profit takes, right? I told about Microsoft, cautious of gap and crap to 380 at open, wait for the setup. So I clearly defined all the gap and craps so that my traders could take that gap and crap. And this was the Bitcoin pre-market planning. Watch out the profit takes on Bitcoin first. You see IBIT, that's what we are talking about. That's why Hood was a short, Coin was a short, Circle was a short. So everything was with the plan. We do not trade randomly. So that's how we did it, right? We had a pre-market plan. We came in the morning, all the traders just shorted them out, right? So let's look at one of the best trades again. We're going to talk about Tesla. So Tesla, we have been successful shorting Tesla for 3 days in the row. So let me take a look here. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me hide this. Let's take a look at Tesla. So you see that Tesla, since we broke the 1 hour MTF cloud, has been bearish, short, bearish. So let me see if I can show you that few of the trades that we were taking on Tesla. First, I want to show you the short we took on April 6th. You see this was the MTF rejection double top short, make money on the downside. And let's see if I can show you more short setups here. So you can see that I gave the target on that initial short. I told the traders to, this was the short that on April 6th, 358 stops and 352 target. We hit our 352s. Next target I gave was 350. We also hit the 350 target. That was our day 1 short. So let's look at the next short, right? So next day, it was a day 2 short. We plan to short it under the previous day lows. So let me show you the timestamp guidance there as well. You could see that Tesla, I told the traders to short the pops versus 348. And that's what exactly we did. We shorted it. You buy puts, your $1,000 puts are going to give you $3-4 grand. If shorting the shares, you're risking $1,000, you're making $4-5 grand. So that was the short on the day 2. Again, I gave the plan pre-market, no hindsight, and my live voice guidance. So those were our day 2 and day 1 shorts. So what happened today? So today, Tesla gapped up all the way, right? So we gap up all the way. So is it going to be gap and go? But there was another bad news. Michael Burry, the pre-market plan, Michael Burry wants Tesla compensation could distort the earnings, and he calls the tragic tier leader. So he was bearish. We were gapping up. We have two stop risk levels, 361, 360, and resistance was 365. I told the traders to watch out profit taking, only long over pre-market highs or pull back long as 1 hour MTF holds. Watch the flow. So as soon as I saw that Tesla is not pushing over the pre-market highs, that's when I tell traders that Tesla is a profit-taking short. Gap and crap short. There's a gap. There is your gap right here. So we know gaps can be filled. So that was a gap fill short, right? Whenever there's a gap, there is an opportunity of the complete gap fill. I told the traders MTF breakdown. Once we broke right here, I told the traders we're going to make a next leg down here on the gap and crap. We are going to make next leg down, and I gave the target of 346.50. Next we hit the 340.50. Then I said full target on the gap fill on Tesla, right? So then we got our full gap fill as well right here, and then middle of the day it created a bear flag on 30 minutes, and that's when I told the traders it's a bear flag breakdown, and you got more short react towards the yesterday lows. A beautiful trade. You could trade TSLL short, you could trade TSLQ short, but this is the kind of trade that you want to do. Let's say you were a lot of traders in the community were on the 350 puts, right? So they went from $1 to $5, 400%. Then later in the day they went to $10, 1,000%. So that's the trade you want to do, because you can literally turn your $1,000 into 5-6 grand. Risking $1,000 on the short, you can make 8-9 grand on such trades. That's a repeatable trade you can repeat for your whole life. No hindsight, pre-market planning, 3 days in a row, Tesla, trade for living, money maker trade for us. All right, so let's look at the next one here. Next one we're going to take a look is PLTR. So PLTR was also our gap and crap short. Let's look at the planning, another profit taking. It's all about the profit taking setups. So PLTR, gap and go over pre-market breakouts, gap and crap under 3450 EMA breakdown. As soon as it breaks down here, you take a gap and crap short, hold it, breaks MTF, you hold it, breaks 1 hour MTF, you hold it, bounces towards the MTF, you re-short it, fill the gap. We already filled the gap right here. You re-short it and you ride it all the way down as long as the 512 does not curl. You see, that was a monster short even on the PLTR. Traders traded insanely there. You look at the 140, 150 puts. The 150 puts, they went from $2 all the way to $9. Insane day for the traders with these setups. Another profit taking gap and grab setups. All right, so let's look at some of our earning plays now. So we're going to look at the earning plays. Start with AEHR. So let's see what was our plan on AEHR here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at AEHR. So AEHR, one of the good stocks. Let's, what AEHR does. We go to our tenant research platform, the investing platform. So AEHR, data center, they need the system. So it's a big part of their photonics and also AI infrastructure ecosystem. Today the news was pretty good. Their backlog hit record highs. Second half booking is massive. They're still trying to make the profit, but they are really showing a lot of good, lot of good revenue growth there. So let's take a look here. What was our plan in the pre-market on AEHR? The earning play. All-time high 54, long over 55. Simple plan, long over 55. So what did AEHR do? As soon as I saw it breaking the 55, I told the traders AEHR long, gap and go long. First target I gave 62. We hit 62 within 5 minutes. Next target I gave 65. We hit 65 by 10 a.m. So you see, if you get in 56, your stops are under 54. You're risking $2, 1,000 shares, 2,000 risk, and you are making 6-7 grand by the time we hit our 65 targets. We take all the profits here. Once we break most of the profits there, once we break 512, we exit it. You see that, and this was my timestamp guidance. 62 first target. Long alert to the community. Of course, I wanted them to. They are already long. They decided do not wait for me. As we started to move up, we gave the stops of 57, 58. Our 65 target hit, we moved the stops to 60, 50. Once our 60, 50 stops hit, we were out. It did give another setup which is called midday 512 reclaim. You could get back long here at 61 with the stops under 59 or at least 59.60, risking $1.50 and you're making another $4 or $5. That was a midday setups, and the reason it worked because it was a bullish chart, bullish news, hot sector. Also, it's a social media favorite stock, step-by-step guidance, beautiful winner for the community. Earning setup. All right, so next setup we're going to look at is DAL, Dell. So Delta Airline, not Dell. So Delta Airlines, also a running play. You see I highlighted as a red. Gap and go over PM market highs. Gap and crap under 72. As soon as I see it breaking the 512 crowds, I tell the traders do not long it. Gap and crap, put the stops at 73. Short 1,000 shares, risk $1. Take it over 68, make $4 grand. That's the kind of trade it was. No hindsight, step-by-step guidance, not after the fact. And as it moved lower, we moved our stops lower under 72s, and we hit our 69.50 target as well. Even later in the day, it hit the MTF magnet. That's what our system is so good. It's a cheat code. You see from 512 to 34.50 to the MTF magnet. You just need to hold, and you be ready, right? So clearly, earning play highlighted as a red play, gave the support level, resistance level, gave the plans. We had a bullish buy, we gave the plan on Delta 72 level as it breaks and crap under 72.50. The clean plan was given to the traders. Whichever side it triggers, you take the trade. Do not think twice. Trade small. Make these earning plays. They really pay well. Whenever there's a gap, your gap and crap will be good. Since we're talking about gap and craps, I can also show you some similar setups that we did yesterday. Humana, gapping on a huge news. Confirm short here. We took a short, put a stops at 202, told the traders target 195, 190. We hit both the targets. MTF magnet, insane gap and crap. Another profitable trade. So just like the trade I showed you today, another yesterday was we had a gap and crap on CVS. Another my lifetime stamped guidance. I told the traders to long over 77.50, crap under that. As soon as it breaks, I tell the traders to short it, and that also hit our MTF magnet target. So great examples of the gap and craps and hitting the targets on the MTF and using Fibonacci's. One of my favorite setups, beautiful trade. Let's go to the next one. So AAOI, as you know, one of our favorite top stocks, very bullish chart. AAOI, let's take a look here. So plan on AAOI was gap and go over 130 or 512 curl, crap under 125. So initially it was a short from 125 right here. When it started to curl over this 512, that's when I told the traders 5 to 12 calls, and you could see that live guidance from RGV. As soon as it got out here, he exited the short, and a lot of traders in the community took that 512 curl. This is another repeatable setup which is called 512 curl setup. So that was a pretty good call out. D trade was in at 123.40. He was in here. He took it all the way for $10 profit. Clint already added as a C minus trade, and he added more over the 512 calls. There's nothing like Ripster clouds, guys. These systems work most of the times. When they don't work, we lose small, but when they work, look at that 512 calls, breakout of highs, breakout of pre-market highs, all the way highs. So let's look at the next ones here. So the next one we're going to take a look is we had UNH. UNH was our top day 2 play. It's called a day 2 strategy. So when UNH was gapping up, and it was a short under the 310 level. So as soon as it breaks 310, you short it, right? It was a big news yesterday. So that is an example of day 2 setups, to how to trade those day 2 setups. CrowdStrike, which gapped up a big time, was also one of our top day 2 setups. A day 2 strategy, short under 34.50 EMA break. You could short it here, you could short it here, and make some profits on the gap and crap. Only difference was it swiped at the open, and later in the day it came in. All right, so now I'm just going to talk about a short that I gave in the community, or not a short, the long that I gave in the community, which a lot of traders are trying to short it because they don't understand the mechanics behind a short squeeze. Mechanics behind the short squeeze. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm talking about CAR, CAR was squeezing. We noticed it last week, and then I noticed the short float on it, almost 50%. I told my traders, when we were trading at 144, that this is going to go squeeze higher. I, also tweeted about it that it's a past squeezer. So if you always look at the history and never try to short blindly. Let me show if I show you the history of this CAR, how the traders made money on this. Every day we've been trading it every day as our day to setup. So many years ago, CAR squeezed from 120, 180 all the way to 500. Of course, it came back after popping around here. Shorts were still stuck. Same concept, right? If it squeezed that time, there's a chance of it squeezing again as well. You can see the volume, the weekly volume, the volume that started huge volume. And if you look at it, before I show you our guidance, our plan every day, it has been riding the 3450 clouds. Bounce 3450, bounce 3450, bounce 3450, bounce 3450, trapping shorts. And today it broke this level. You can always use a volume profile. So I told the traders to, it's not going to suddenly give you the flush. You have to watch the tape on this one. A lot of shorts are stuck. Today it did fade, but it did not break the 1 hour MTF cloud. Look at this bounce from MTF cloud, still squeezing. We will cut the swing trade once it breaks the 1 hour MTF cloud completely. Right, it still made a bullish candle on the daily chart, did not make a bearish candle, right? You see that. So a lot of traders are destroying themselves trying to short it early. You cannot use the 512 clouds on this one. You got to use a bigger time frame, 1 hour chart time frame, and see when the short is there. So if you were short, you get out right here. I did tell the traders if we break this level, we're gonna flush to the MTFs. So we did flush from 243 to 227. But you can see the big swipe back, trapping more shorts who don't have a system. We have a system, and going back over at the highs. So I told the traders we will hit 200 on CAR, and we did hit 200. You can see my step-by-step guidance. Yeah, I also told the traders over 250. We will see 250 next, and that's exactly we did. We hit 250 yesterday, and every day the CAR is on our day 2, day 3 setup. Let me see if I can show you that. So you can see that we were even trading on it on April 6th. D trade was on top of it. The community was long. I told the traders 200 squeeze potential. Even when we hit 180, I told the traders to hold it for 200. That was on April 6th. So when we got the 200, then I told the traders over 200, we're going to push some more. Right, so 200 top day to setup. You can see the guidance, no hindsight here, and a lot of traders were trading for 200, made a huge profit. Literally in 1 week we got $80-90 on this squeeze swing, and over 200 you see the 3450 bounce, we pushed further higher. So that's how you play, guys. You try to make money using the cloud system on these squeezers. You don't try. So many traders they try to short it other day, lost money, try to short it here yesterday, lost money. Even today you can't use the 10-minute. You have to go to 1 hour chart. It's still bullish. If you could short it for a scalp, but you gotta get out as soon as it reclaims the clouds and bounces from the MTF. You gotta cover there. Look at this volume. These are the shorts who are trying to get out, who are stuck. I have a tweet called Squeezer Float Mechanics. I explain the complete mechanics behind such moves, because the shorts are adding. Whenever they see a pullback, the shorts are covering it. So it makes it bounce because they're stuck. They want to get out on a lower price, and the buyers come in, it takes it higher. And any short who shorted here, he's buying, he's getting squeezed. So what you see here today, that was the shorts who added today, and they got squeezed. If they're still stuck, they probably have their stops on high of their day today. If tomorrow we push high over this level, then we are going to 300. But if the shorts hold this, they will hold. And then if we break the 1 hour MTF cloud, we may come down. But it's not that easy to short these names. That what I teach. Make money on the long side. I literally showed you how the traders traded it for 80-90 points in 1 week. Many examples on my feed. No hindsight, live examples. Hopefully you can learn from them and you can catch the next short squeezer. Thank you.